what you're saying. Nani? Get out my business, okay?
I try and bring you guys some up and coming topics. This dropped like a few minutes ago, so I'm interested to get some feedback on this. But we're going to be talking about Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore. And shout out to all you Jimmy hats. Eric, if Eric's in the chat, Eric, put the name of the girl who's been commenting on our videos. We literally had a girl comment more on our video than anyone even had a chance to watch it. And it's this type of behavior. It's this type of behavior that really worries me about Jimmy hats, because every week I try and show you a situation where you could easily be manipulated, or you could fall into a weak talking point, and it just doesn't make sense why you would put yourself in that predicament. But instead of you to embrace, like, you know, someone having a different idea of yours, or even agreeing with you but just not wanting to support you, so being neutral, you find this as a means to attack them, and it's just weird to me. So we want to talk a little bit about a segment that was going on during this video, and we're just going to play some clips from it, and I'm going to just give you my thoughts on this. But I'm super eager to hear what you guys think about this situation, because ultimately what it comes down to is these people, these two guys together are saying things they don't really understand.
This conversation is, you know, you'll have people saying, I've used this on my patients, like Dr. Pierre Corey, who's been on this podcast. And I 100% believe him, and I support him, and I'm not saying that he's not telling the truth. The problem is, I think in order to state something emphatically, like this is what we need to do, this is the best treatment, we need studies. Right? This is the only way you find out. And, well, who's going to fund these studies?
Who's going to fund a study?
And the problem is it's a generic drug.
That's it. No one wants it.
It's a drug that's been around for 40 years, has a long history of use. And also, there's a difference between using it as a prophylactic, so using it as
All right, and so just to give you context on what they're talking about ways of treating COVID and all that stuff. And hey, more power to them. I appreciate Joe Rogan giving this softball response that we need to show proof of this working and this and that, but push back on stop pushing ideas. You know, there are people way smarter than you guys who have already figured out this. If it's something that's been around for 40 years, trust me, they've tried it. But like, there's just this uncanny ability for him to sort of make a say something intelligent, but then like water it down with the what ifs type things. Like, there are definitive answers to these questions that they're posing. There's no real issue here.
As a preventative measure, which is one of the things that's the problem.
Yeah.
So when I'm a fucking comedian and a cage fighting commentator. When I'm talking about very important issues,
stay in your goddamn lane.
My opinions on these things.
I know.
It's tricky.
But in an environment where people aren't allowed to talk or question things, you know.
Okay, well, and right here. In an environment where people aren't allowed to talk and express themselves, he's sitting on a platform right now where this came out today, about 3 hours ago. They have nearly 300,000 views, 19,000 likes, and 7,000 plus comments. Who's suppressing you, Jimmy? You're on one of the biggest platforms in the country. Who's suppressing you, Jimmy? Where is this coming from that, oh, woe is me, I cannot speak, I am not free, who's going to help me? No one's suppressing them. They are able to speak freely. Now, if you say something dumb and people berate you for it, that's called a consequence. That's called cause and effect. Don't be too sensitive.
Well, for instance, my doctor. So when I got the vaccine, I got the double. And
which one did you get?
I got the Moderna because I have an underlying health problem. I don't want, and I've talked about it before on the show.
We have talked about it, yeah.
And so my doctor, because people are like, why did you trust the government? I don't trust the government. You trust Big Pharma? No, I don't trust Big Pharma. I trusted my doctor.
Right.
My doctor who saved my life and said that because of your thing, you should get it because we don't know how it's going to affect you and you blah, 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 blah. So I got it. And then, the symptoms you get from it, they never went away for me.
What were your symptoms?
So I had, body aches, flu-like fever. I had a joint pain. I had a stiff neck.
Have you tried going in an ice?
All right. Body aches, stiffness of neck, flu-like fever, flu-like sicknesses. Does this look like somebody that takes care of themselves to avoid those things? Does he look like he's eating his veggies every day? I'm totally being hypocritical. Not hypocritical. I'm totally being biased in my opinion. I'm totally saying that I'm totally being an asshole right now. But does he look like, he stretches and, exercises and work out every day? He might, and I don't know this, but he's also over 50. That's called getting old, Jimmy. Body aches, neck stiffness is called you don't have a good pillow, Jimmy. Go get you a purple pillow. Like, that's not an excuse to disown a whole entire set. Now, moving forward, obviously there's been reaction and stuff, but you can't attribute all of these things. He's never been diagnosed on this stuff. And I guarantee you, for all the bitching and complaining you're doing about this, you would rather be on a bed with a 13-inch tube down your throat? Is because that's the alternative. I'm not trying to dismiss his gropes and pain, but there's also you got to take this with a grain of salt. He's old. That's why you feel that way.
Because we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
We're
in an emergency.
Yes, but it's not an FDA approved.
Joe, when you go get this jab, they give you a piece of paper, and on it in bold black letters, it says, this is not an FDA approved vaccine.
Right.
And they go, you see that? And I'm like, yeah. They go, you okay with that? Yeah, I guess. My doctor said I'm supposed to be here. And
Did you
so
find it?
Yeah, I found the transcript of it. I didn't find the video.
Well,
okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw the video, but I definitely have read the transcript, and I want this to be accurate because it's a big accusation.
This is what she said here when someone asked about the misinformation.
What is this from? Whitehouse.gov.
Yeah.
Okay. So more than just a competition about vaccines, the risk, impact. Okay, here it is. Misleads the public by falsely alleging that mRNA vaccines are untested and thus risky, even though many of them are approved and have gone through the gold standard of the FDA approval process. That's right. That's not true.
So she's saying many of
And
the
to the
mRNA
point-
vaccines.
Right. There's only 2 that are mRNA vaccines. That's messenger RNA. That is.
And these are 2 people trying to decipher the talking points of an administration. When something is being used for emergency use, it has gone through some sort of approval process. Is it the gold standard of like it being FDA approved outright? No. But we also have had things that have been FDA, and don't misconstrue that FDA's like standard. There are things that have made it through FDA standard and have failed horrifically. That's why we get those late night 3 a.m. videos about, hey, have you suffered from this drug and this? You might be entitled to. That's where that comes from, all right? Because of recalls. But it's not like the last thing you want to do is put this level of doubt without having enough sufficient proof. We have seen now for 9 months that there is no issue with this that has exploded past the events of people dying. What I'm basically saying is there are less people dying from complications of the vaccine than people dying from COVID right now. In fact, COVID has about a million head start, and that's where this comes from, right?
Right.
When they politicize medicine, where doctors and medical professionals are afraid to talk about their symptoms. That's horrible.
And
I'm
this
also
segment,
putting people.
this segment is
A doctor
interesting.
says, oh, I'm treating 5 people just like you. And one of them is a neurosurgeon and one of them is a nurse. And they were afraid to talk about their symptoms because they were afraid to be ostracized and stigmatized.
No, they weren't afraid to be ostracized, stigmatized. They're embarrassed. They're embarrassed because if you're a healthcare provider, providing care to people who might be contaminated with the disease that you were given the option to back in February to prevent yourself from being infected with, and you didn't do anything about it, and then you get it, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed to be giving advice on healthcare standards and not following them and then end up with it. That's the equivalence of me saying, let's all work out and eat healthy, and then my first meal is a like a trip to Dunkin' Donuts. It's embarrassing, and that's what it should be. That's what they should be feeling. Like, no one's afraid to speak about it. If you as a healthcare provider in America, where there's like 19 vaccines to one person, don't want to get the vaccine, hey, that's on you, bro. At this point, that's all on you. No one, like, I'm not feeling sorry for you at that point. So I'm super critical of people on this level of this. Let's get one more segment, and then I'll get my final thoughts on this.
Keep them on your own side, you piece of shit. And then you're in your car. Fuck! And this is everyone is still. It's almost like, do you know, like, if you got in a fight with someone, like maybe your neighbor, and then you got in your car and there was a road incident, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. You're already so ramped up.
Yeah.
Because of the fight you got in with your neighbor.
Yeah.
This is what the whole country's like.
That's a great analogy.
That's what it's like. It's like the whole country just got in a fight with the neighbor. Like, he's putting his trash can on your lawn. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you fuck. Keep him on your own side, you piece of shit. And then you're in your car. Fuck! And this is like the whole country is like at 8 out the door in their car, already at 8 on a scale 1 to 10. They're already ready to go. And so whether it's the vaccine or whether it's the border wall or whether it's kids in cages or what the fuck, whatever it is, everybody's so goddamn angry and ready to go. And then you deal with the economic crisis that a giant percentage of the country just went through over the past year. And
I'll give Joe some credit here. Like, everything has been so politicized. Everything's been ostracized. Everything's been put under a microscope. And it's been generally a very tense situation we've gone through in this country for the last few years. Yo, that's why I even take pause when I decide to go outside. Like, is me going outside worth running into some fucktwat that hasn't been outside and doesn't know and hasn't readjusted? That's why we have a lot of increased conflicts going on in our society right now. So, like, I hear this aspect of it, but I think the onus is sort of on each individual person to kind of come to grips with the reality of the situation. And if we can't all argue on the same level base of facts, then there's no conversation to be had. And that's really where people then become agitated, because they can't articulate themselves past a normal talking point. You have to know past, like, for you to talk to me about, oh, I'm skeptical about vaccines, you have to be able to mention any one of the 13 major contributing factors of the mRNA booster vaccine combination. If you can't even articulate that to me, there's no conversation for us to have. And that's frustrating to a lot of people. And it leads them down this very, very slippery slope of having one-off conversations. But this is just a segment within itself, and I'm curious to hear other people's perspective on this and kind of grasp an understanding of how people like you might feel about this. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. For all the Jimmy Hats and Joe Rogan people out there, I got Jimmy Hats who are the Jimmy Dore fans. I don't have a nickname, a cute nickname for you Joe Rogan people. But for all you people that are going to come in and be like, don't you say shit about, relax. I'm literally talking about you. Come in here. Let's have an identifying conversation, and let's try and make a sense of this situation. But also, I want to implore you to not rely on one-off anecdotal information from your favorite podcaster. Truly seek to educate yourself. And if you are going to take any advice from this, take it from Jimmy and Joe Rogan. Anything that they said today, the two most important things they really said was, one, let's get some more research on a standard past this level, and then 2, let's also talk to our doctors. If you take anything from these assholes, take that from them, okay? I think that's great advice that they gave. But for everything else in between time, in the meantime, you can find us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify, Anchor, and Apple iTunes. We're literally everywhere. I'm literally on every platform Joe Rogan's on. Y'all need to get me on his level. I want to have 4,000 views and likes. In due time, I get it. But make sure you're liking. If you haven't liked this on any one of those platforms, yo, we got beef. So make sure you're sharing this. Make sure you're putting this out there into the etherverse. I appreciate the 7 people watching with me. I definitely love you guys. This is where you guys can find us. The link tree is the easiest way to connect with us. So if you want to get all that other stuff, I spelled link tree wrong. Hold on. There we go. All right, that's the link tree for this. I appreciate you guys joining us for this segment. Take care of yourself. Put on your goddamn mask. And let's get to the next part of the show.
But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we can catch the vibes.